Hello everyone, hi, my name is Jessie February, those of you who don't know me. I'm from South Africa and I'm here today to be commentating on Luca's game. I want to get his surname right, so I'm going to have the pairings up in front of me. Luca Ponteroli. Luca Ponteroli is Italiano, buongiorno. People. Hi, how's it going? This is round one of the Maia chess open, and as you can see, there are no games available right now, but we do have moves on the board, as we can see by the camera. I believe there is a delay. I think it's 10 minutes. Maybe it's actually more. There's an echo. I hope the echo is gone now. Is the echo gone? It should be gone. I hope it is. Sorry if there was an echo. It should be solved. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know what's better than one Jessie? Two Jessies. Alrighty. Oh, we have games. The games are up. Oh my gosh. Why is it only 3 boards? No, sir. This is not how it is. Not in these parts. Okay, I have an idea. You're gonna have to bear with in order for this idea to work. While they are loading the boards, what I'm going to do, and I don't have another scene unfortunately, other than this one. Actually, it's a pretty great scene, so let's stay on that screen while I set up. I'm gonna get an analysis board and we'll just enter the moves manually until the games are updated. Okay, we have an analysis board, and maybe we can have someone just sort of monitor whether the other boards are going to load or not. We can see that Luca is playing on a DGT board, so hopefully this DGT is hooked up. I think it is. We can probably check it out. Yeah, there's some plugs going on over there. But in the meantime, let's just go over the moves that were played. If I'm not mistaken, it's a Nimzo. C4, E6, knight C3, bishop B4, and then there was bishop D2. Let me see what happened after that. Maybe I should keep it over here. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm gonna have to like zoom in with my eyes. Knight F6. Knight F6 was played. But castling is also on the board. Why does it look like black made 2 more moves? Oh wait, black just played castling right now. Professional streamer and professional chess commentator, just by the way. But it's okay. I haven't had to enter moves manually in a really long time. So thank you for you know, just giving me this opportunity and being patient with me. So I actually played in this event last year. It's absolutely incredible. They do a lot for the streamers and the content creators who participate in the event. And honestly, the organization is always like super top notch, even though I only played 1 edition of it. And yeah, a little bit of FOMO, but we are going to be doing commentary on this game for Luca and other streamers in the up and coming days. There's Not Joel on Sunday, and Hannah says Katarina Reinica at some point as well. And yeah, I'm just super excited to have this chance to commentate. But hello in chat. I'm seeing everyone in chat right now. G, Sugar Dentas. Is there audio? I hope you can hear me. There's probably a delay in the streamers section. Yeah, maybe there's a delay. Maybe there's a streamers tab that I didn't even open. Let's take a look. There is a streamers tab. I'm actually a little bit slow. But yeah, there aren't any games available in the streamers tab just yet. Cool that they have an entire section just for streamers. I'm very happy to see that. So whose turn is it right now? It is after A3. Still super standard stuff in the Namzo Indian defense. I think it is, it's black to move. And one of the most common responses here is bringing the bishop back to E7 and then playing moves like B6, you know, C5, delaying this D6 or D5 push. It's a really nice way to also not stop, but sort of ward off White's attempt to put the knight on E5 later on. I used to play the Namzo Indian, but just because it didn't have a lot of theory at the time when I was looking at it, I don't remember much about it now, just because my memory is pretty poor. But we can take a look at some notable games in this line. After A3, there's bishop, like I said, there's bishop takes C3, which is actually the most played move, and bishop E7. But it seems like the margin is higher for a draw in terms of the statistics. After bishop E7, the chance of a draw is 43%, according to the notable games in this position. And after bishop takes C3, it's 48% draw, but a higher win rate for black. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Mega. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. I'm also looking out in the other chats. So if you guys are around, please do say hello. Please do say hello. Some of the most recent games that have been played in this position, Piotr Sabuk versus Shema L. someone. But 2500 level. It's nice to see that that the Namzo is still being played quite often here. And bishop takes c3 has been played. It seems as though Eduardo, who is his opponent, we can take a look at his opponent as well. Playing the black pieces, Eduardo Jose Ferreira, who is the 9th seed and is 1945 in rating. So 300, maybe less than 300 points above Luca. He thought quite a while on this move, either to take or to move the bishop back. And I mean, I sort of can understand his idea to take the knight rather than lose a tempo and retreat it to bishop e7, though it has been played before. And now Luca plays bishop takes c3, not wanting to double the pawns, and you know, it's sort of unprovoked to ruin the pawn structure, even though you are solidifying a stronger center. You don't want to make any concessions in the opening like that. Why is Smart Sky leaving? No, come back. And I'm also out of breath for some reason. You know what I'm blaming it on? Sinus season. Yeah. Every month there's sinus season if you're allergic to the earth. Yeah. I'm just gonna refresh, make sure that the streamers games are not yet loaded. They're not, but it's okay. We're not gonna complain. What I might try to do is pop out the browser source so that we can actually see what's going on. There we go. We managed to pop it out so that we can keep an eye on it. There we go. Okay, more moves are being made. Let's see what moves they are. Some streamers' boards appeared in the under 2000. That is true. You are right. That means we can probably go back to that scene. I don't see it yet. Yeah, I don't see it yet, unfortunately. Or his game in particular. But I'll just assume that it's on its way. Yeah, it's not a big deal. We'll still be able to update the game. Thank goodness we have a camera, otherwise we would be lost. Alright, so it looks like Eduardo ended up playing d6 in this position. And now Luca is thinking it did limit the number of games that are available in the database to 1 game. Yeah, that's quite interesting. It was played in 2024, which means you probably can go back to the analysis, and we'll keep the evaluation bar up just so that, in case we miss something important. But of course, our tactics are so sharp. What is the likelihood of us missing anything? There's so many streamers doing commentary for the event. Good to see. Yeah, it is. That's because the streamers who are playing are really encouraged to stream it. I remember not doing any commentary, but I was definitely streaming the games. Portugal versus Hungary? No, not Hungary. That is Italy. Italy. Hungary is vertical, no? Vertical lines. No. Alrighty. So we're still in the Namzo Indian, and I wonder what some of the best choices that are available here for white, for Luca. And we can look at the different moves that can be made. I believe f3 is one of them, which is really nice because you can aim towards playing this e4 move. You are sort of weakening the king a little bit, and also moving a pawn in the opening when you have a chance to maybe develop a piece instead. Can lead to black trying to at least open up the center and launch a quick attack. Tempi is super important in the opening, so it's interesting to me that even moves like b4 or queen c2 are looked at here. I think queen c2 is normal. You also want to stop the knight from coming in to e4 and try to maintain the bishop pair, which is something that black definitely wants to not get back, but at least have a better trade in terms of black has 2 knights and white has the 2 bishops. So in an open position, you definitely want the 2 bishops. I'm wondering if moves like knight f3 are good. Okay, then knight e4 is being played. Okay, so f3 helps e4 as well as stopping knight e4. So maybe it's not at all that bad a plan, because maybe now black can play c5, something like this, maybe taking and putting, okay, knight c6, maybe you want to bring the bishop back. I like keeping the bishop on this diagonal. Then you're playing, it's like a Maroczy bind setup. You're putting the bishop on d3, you're putting the knight on e2, maybe playing queen to d2, castling at some point, and then just getting the king to h1 as quickly as possible. So this is a nice approach for white. But maybe if you haven't really seen this idea with f3 before, it's going to be hard to find over the board because it's just not natural. Maybe if you're a Samish player, or you like a really, really strong center, never mind the king safety, you'd go for it. But I would understand if he didn't go for it because black's king is already castled. And yeah, it's just against all the opening principles that you sort of learn at a fundamental level. Give me 1 second. Was a3 an inaccuracy? Was it necessary? We can go back a little bit. a3 is a very normal move in a position like this because you're forcing black to make a decision, right? You're forcing black to either take or move back. And I've seen both of these moves being played before. And especially with black needing to commit to giving up the bishop so early, I think it gives white maybe a slight edge, but black also gets to equalize. If anything, I think d6 was very interesting. I would have expected something like b6 or even knight to e4 in a position like this. I wonder if knight e4 is... Yeah, knight e4 is like one of the main moves here and probably would have continued in the master database as like one of the most played moves. Because after rook c1, I think black just takes again. Oh, doesn't really have to take right now. Now d6, because there's no merit in playing b4, and if you play f3, well, that's just losing because, oh my goodness, my mouse needs replacing. Okay, queen to h4. So yeah, knight e4 would have definitely been the move there. So I think maybe you sort of messed up the move order with d6 first, allowing f3. But here, Luca ends up playing this move, knight f3, which allows knight e4 again. So a3 is a very normal move. I mean, some people even play it on move 3. So something like in this position, I've seen it being played. Instead of knight to c3, delaying it, either playing knight f3, although this is still possible. Then bishop d2 takes, I think it's queen takes? Yeah, it's queen takes, and then after b6 or castles, knight c3. Then, instead of knight f3, I've also seen a3 being played, which is normal. Then d5, and you sort of transpose to what chess.com is calling the Indian game, East Indian defense. I don't know if that's correct. Okay. But we get to this, like classical Nimzo. Makes sense why Luca wanted to put the bishop on d2, just to avoid any pawn weaknesses. Okay, f3 wasn't played, but knight f3 was played instead. And I think this just gives black a chance to now play knight e4. Let's see if knight e4 is the best. Apparently b6 is the best, but knight e4, I think he's considering it. I think he was praying for white to not go for this f3 idea. It would have been very, very solid. A very solid approach indeed. But we can take a look at this line with f3. I'm just going to move the camera in the meantime, maybe make it a little bit bigger so we don't miss any moves. And after, though d5 doesn't seem normal, b5 is wild. So none of the top moves are natural. Like knight c6 is not natural, b5 is not natural, d5 is not natural. Like, imagine a scenario where black plays a natural move. Let's just play this, for instance. I mean, this seems natural enough. It's giving white quite the edge. Like e4, c5. Okay, knight e2. Yeah, maybe knight e2. And after b6, I think it's very comfortable for white. Very, very comfortable. I mean, just thinking about ways in which white can continue with natural moves, like knight g3, bishop b7. Okay, maybe black plays d5. Sorry, I mean white plays d5. Okay. I just feel like it's easier for white to play. If f3. Okay, knight f3 was played instead. Knight e4. Okay, we see this knight e4 move. And I think it might be followed by queen to c2. Or just, you know, an easy e3. I think that what's on Luca's mind right now is that Eduardo is already castled. And even though Luca is ahead in like minor piece development, he's still 2 moves away from bringing the bishop out. And these 2 pieces can come out in 2 moves. So as I mentioned, tempi is super important. And unfortunately, there's no way for Luca to save the bishop pair anymore. So we'll try to see how important it was if Eduardo takes, and I think black just equalizes quite nicely. But alright, let's quickly move on to see if these games have been updated. Okay, there are more boards available, at least. There's Luca's game, let's go. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be visible though. We can do this and just play the moves out until they get updated. At least their names and their ratings are available for us. But yeah, let's quickly just take a look at the moves that were played, which is a bit sad because it's gonna be all this color rather than the normal color. You know what I want to do? You know what I'm gonna do, chat? Something very crazy. You're gonna think I'm crazy. But it works. I think it works pretty well. You just won't see the time, unfortunately. You won't see it move. And I think that works out pretty well. Yeah. Some people call me a genius. JK. Alright. So after knight e4, there hasn't been any movement, I don't think. Yeah, nothing to write home about. Lock her up in an institution. That's hard matchups, 300 plus elo. Yeah, I think, I mean, this is the under 2000 section, so a lot of the matchups will be pretty close, I think after round number 3 or something. Like the top 70, maybe not the top 70, let's quickly take a look. The top, like the top 30-ish are all 1900s. So yeah, lots of similar matchups in terms of rating after maybe round 2 or 3. I'm not sure if they're using accelerated pairings. They did that last year in the Masters section. Would make a lot of sense though. I mean, they probably are. I can see that there's a South African playing. Banele, my friend, is playing in the Maia tournament, which is quite nice. We'll be rooting for him. He's probably trying to get his games in and reach that goal of 2300. Quite a nice goal, I must say. Yeah, I think it is accelerated pairings because there's also, I mean, on board 1 of the master section, 2593 playing against 2100. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. This is definitely it. You can see it in the pairings, but yeah. Anyway, going back. Still no moves have been made. I need to make a quick bathroom run, and then I'll be right back. Chat. So if there's any movement, let me know. Is this overall Maia commentary or just one game? It's not the overall Maia commentary, it's just one game today. We're looking at Luca. I still cannot Pontaroli's game. Luca's game. Sunday it's not Joel. And a couple days after that it's Hannah Says and Katarina Reinecker. So we're looking at a lot of streamers' games this tournament. And it is really quite nice that that they've really put a lot of effort into supporting the streamers of this event. And I know this is their goal as well. They want to be one of the biggest tournaments in terms of streamer participation and streamer focus and spotlight and that sort of thing. Yeah, they've put a lot of effort into it. Not seeing any movement, Ninja. The clock is updated. Let's go! Let us go. Okay, yeah, their board has been updated now, so we could probably do this. And this. Alrighty. And then we'll see if it's in sync. Alright, BRB. My dog is just sitting outside the door listening to the commentary. He's like, let me in, I want to learn too. Thank you so much for the follows. Appreciate it. I hope that it's all in sync, that the camera and the board are in sync. I know we sort of struggled in the beginning, but it should be fine now. Close to synced? Grace. Great. Who doesn't want to learn? Right? That's what I always say. Truth. Okay, but I'm glad we don't have to update the moves ourselves. Did I predict correctly? Yep, the e3 taking and yeah, just allowing the bishop to come out. Once again, it's all about development. And now I think it's up to black to decide whether to put this bishop on b7 and the knight on d7, or just to go simply with c5. Excuse me, knight to c6 and bishop d7. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna make a massive difference. But after c5, I'm wondering if white might later play a move like d5 as well, just to shut down this diagonal, which would make more sense for black to then play, I don't know, e5. This will be interesting. I always find it really, really difficult to... Thanks for giving ShivaITA a shout out, who is Luca, who's playing in the Maia tournament. Who are we watching? We are watching Luca Pontaroli play. He's rating at the moment, I know he's been quite an active chess player over the past year, streaming a lot of his events and so on. His rating is 1684. He does stream as well, and he's playing against Eduardo Jose Ferreira. Yeah. Development isn't 100% clear. I really hope that isn't a Jesse quote and that you're saying that on your own. Yeah. No, development definitely isn't clear, and that's why he's taking his time. I think he wants to make sure that he puts his pieces on the best squares possible. You don't want to rush something like this, but in my opinion, I think c5 is going to come. c5 is going to happen because on one hand, it also enables this queen to move to a square like a5, attacking c3. So after c5, the door opens. Queen e7. Okay. Queen e7's been played. We might need to update. Yeah, we'll have to update the camera a little bit. Just to go a little bit forward, I think. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's do it. Because right now, it's -10. Maybe it should be -9 something. That was like 5 seconds, I'd say. Yeah, maybe like here. Let's see if that works. If I'm a real genius. Also, I downloaded this app. It's called Focus Friend, and it's the cutest thing ever. You have this like bean, and you can name the bean, and beanology research. You use it to focus. So then every time you put focus mode on, it knits socks, and the socks are used as currency to decorate a room. It's great. Yeah. Jen's feeling a little bit better. Thanks. But she's a very stubborn lady. So she needs to take some rest, I think. I like to get my pieces to the best squares quickly. Truth, you have something in common with Luca. I don't want the door to open though, it's getting late. Yeah, just watch out that no one enters the doorway while it is late. A strange thing to say. Anyway, Hank Green, yes, Hank Green. And yeah, the Greens have definitely made a huge impact on my life in general. Hank Green with his videos on YouTube. And John Green, his brother, who wrote some amazing books, and some books that were turned into movies, and even made a cameo in one or two of his movies. I don't know if all the movies. Fault in Our Stars, Paper Planes, Looking for Alaska. Yeah, books like that have been really, really good. Yeah. Uh-oh, the camera went boom for a second. But okay. Luca is doing the whole like Hikaru, what should I do now? And I'm gonna make a guess. We can all predict some moves. And I think one of the good predictions are maybe to play bishop to d3. Bishop d3, rook c1, bishop b1. Because there's no knight. I think the knight will go to f6 eventually. But I think bishop d3, maybe even h4, this idea could be nice. I think bishop d3 will be played. Queen c2 is another way. I think it's just a very normal move to make, but I think he'll want to get the king safe, or at least have the chance to get the king safe in case he needs to in one move. They're brothers, the more you know. Are you joking? There are a lot of games to follow. That's true. But I think it's a good thing. Yeah. I mean, if you see Hank Green and John Green stand next to each other, they even look like brothers, so. Queen c2 gives you bishop d3 with tempo. I guess. Maybe not. Because if queen c2, knight d7, bishop d3, knight f6. Maybe now h4 is not so bad. I was thinking about h4. E5, never mind. Maybe. I want to give it a chance. Knight g5, h6. Knight h7 is wild. Okay, never mind. It's a little bit too far-fetched, but queen c2, I think knight d7 might just be played. Apparently f5 is another suggestion, but after bishop d3, e5. Dun, 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 dun. This is incredibly difficult to see. Imagine finding this move over the board. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Taking is one way, but then you're left with this really, really, really poor pawn structure. Another move that's possible is e4, but I think that just like doesn't look very nice. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I have no idea what John Green looks like. Okay. John Green is older than Hank, so maybe just you can picture an older version of Hank Green. But they've made videos together as well. They know a lot about like history, geography, just general knowledge stuff. Yeah. Alrighty. Is Luca wearing a necklace? I just have to look at this. I know this is not chess related at all. Oh, I think it's just the lanyard. Oh, it's the tournament lanyard. I really like the color of the lanyard as well. It's pretty. I know, I'm such a girl sometimes. Okay, we can consider other ideas here. According to the engine, I mean, it's definitely helping me find ideas, but with a4 you relieve the duties of the rook temporarily, because now the queen is covering that square. After d5, queen is not hitting a3 anymore. You usually play a move like a4 when you have the bishop on c1 and you want to play bishop a3. I know this from ideas in the Winnova, the French defense, and so on. Other ideas, probably Luca will try to fix this minor problem that he has. I'm not entirely sure. Let's just quickly see what the engine thinks. The point is just to get rid of the pawn or to create some more weaknesses. Minority attack. e5 is coming way too fast, so bishop e2 might be forced. And of course, if the pawn takes, you just take back and you no longer have a problem in the center. And after f5, maybe a6, just to give the pawn. I mean, maybe you have h4. No, h4 I don't like. I don't like it. No gusto. See, I don't know how close Italian and Spanish are to one another, but we could do commentary in Spanish and hope everyone understands me. Yo no gusto. We need some code to make the time fly by. These games are so long. Yeah, they're not exactly like some Rapid and Blitz we've taken a look at in the past. You're right. Close, but probably not close enough, lol. Yeah, this is true. I would need to find some Italian words and things to say. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna Google some things in Italian. English to Italian. And it's not gonna be perfect because Google Translate. But this game is going to be so interesting. Questo ghiaccio sarà così interessante. Is that correct? Let's hear. Questo gioco sarà così interessante. Mamma mia, pizzeria. No. Oh my gosh. But we can have some Italians in chat tell us whether this is correct or not. We are supporting Luca in this game. Stiamo supportando Luca in questa partita. Bella Ciao is Italian. Yes, the song Bella Ciao is Italian. This one means we are supporting Luca in this game. Stiamo supportando Luca in questa partita. Well, in Spanish it would be partido or jugador. No, maybe. Ciao, sì, ma perché? Wait, what does that mean? Ciao, hi, yes, but you got the hand gestures wrong. I think I got them perfectly right. They make me more understandable, of course. Alright, is there movement? No. The only movement is the body language. But that's okay. Body language is importante. Muchísimo. Nice. First thing I hear is some Italian. Sweet blues. How are you? Cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls, you speak Italian? Molto bene. Oh, very nice. Molto is very? I remember molto bene from the Twilight movies. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Alright. Maybe Queen e7 just surprised him a little bit, but I mean it makes sense that on move 9 that, you know, Luca's out of prep and just wants to make sure that he follows through in this opening with the correct continuation, or at least something that isn't going to cause him more weaknesses. For sure he's considering ideas like this. It's a very common idea. I was trying to avoid any lines by the engine that didn't really look very natural. But yeah. Okay. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Chat, when you play chess, do songs ever get stuck in your head? I find that happens to me, and it's often music that I haven't even recently listened to. the one song I do listen to quite often before games, not all the time, but more often than not, it's Magic by Coldplay. It just puts me in the mood to want to play, and it also calms me quite a bit because I get very excited and I just need to calm down. Yeah. Born in the USA. What about partying in the USA? Hopped on the plane of LAX, dreaming my cardigan, nights in white satin. That's good. Yeah. Super good. I'm just gonna make the camera bigger. Try to see what he's seeing. It looks, and we can actually chat a little bit about just general body language in chess. And it's something I picked up. Of course, I've never studied psychology. I've taken a huge interest in psychology in the past. I mean, reading nonfiction and self-help books in this regard, like trying to understand human behavior a little bit better. Just because a lot of it just comes from experience or the people you are around, and that is basically all you have to go on when it comes to dealing with other people. But when you read a book, it sort of broadens your perspective and scope on these things, and you learn more about the universal standpoints and aspects of social behavior and human behavior and this sort of thing. And the one thing that I've learned in chess, and one thing that's worked more often than not, is when it comes to body language, and it's something that was mentioned in chess books as well, is that if you're shifting your body language once or twice every 10 seconds, there's a good chance you feel a bit uneasy in the position. And either you'll pick up on that subconsciously, or I mean, it's very noticeable sometimes. Some people don't even notice these things and they're like, wow, I didn't even think about that until now. Something else, and this hasn't been in any chess book, but it's more of a hypothesis that hasn't yet been proven. When you find your opponent is doing this at the board or has their arms folded, look at the chessboard in relation to their elbows. If the elbows are more to the left or the right, it will tell you which part of the board they're currently looking at. And this is the thing. I know that when it comes to conversations or general conversations with people, wherever your knees are pointing are often where you're giving most of your attention to. And I feel like the same goes for people playing chess. Their elbows say a lot about which part of the board they're looking at. And even if they have their eyes covered, if they're a little bit slightly to the left, for instance, Luca is right now, his elbows are at A and G. He's looking at the queen side. Yeah, this is something I've picked up. Can't you just look where they're looking? I mean, yes, you can. I don't like staring at my opponent. Though I found that was exactly what was happening when I was playing against Anna Oshinina at the World Cup. It's a way to intimidate your opponent, but also understand like what they're looking at. But if they have their eyes covered, maybe by their hair, their hands, a cap, there are other methods of being able to spot. Killer Queen, Rocket Man. Yeah. But I find this kind of thing really, really interesting. And I often enjoy, I mean, psychology in general, but chess psychology mostly. It's very, very interesting and very complex as well. All right, looks like Luca is now down to just under an hour on the clock, so down 20 minutes, which I'm really hoping that, well, I'm not sure what the time control is. Let's see if there's an additional 30 minutes after 40 moves. Just looking at the regulations. under 2000. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Swiss system. The direction may decide on accelerated pairings. Maybe like the number of participants in the first 2 or 3 rounds by applying accelerated pairings method. Depending on the number of participants, each player will have 90 minutes for the first 40 moves, followed by another 30 minutes after move 40. I didn't realize it was that long, but okay. With an increment of 30 seconds from move 1. Okay. So they do have an additional 30 minutes after 40 moves. Yeah, you just have to pace yourself well, because getting to 40 moves is not easy to start off with, you know? Anyway. I wish every streamer would set up their camera like this game. We don't need the demo board to see the position. A demo board? What do you mean a demo board? Oh, bishop e2. Alright, bishop e2 is very nice. We haven't seen it being played just yet. Maybe I messed up. Maybe I messed up the sync, because it was first the board and then the camera. Now it's the camera and then the board. But bishop e2 was played. Let's try to refresh it. Chess Rob with the 5 stream streak. Let's go. Just don't touch anything. What did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't touch anything. I mean, yeah, I kind of did change the timing. And I think that it's just behind now. I'm not even sure how much it's behind, but you know what I'm gonna do quickly, very, very quickly, is I'm gonna have to do something crazy. Hang on. Oh, we're in the live position, that's why. I'm so sorry. This is totally against I'm so sorry. Wow. We're doing illegal things here, chat. Illegal. We just saw the live position. Don't tell anyone. Oops. Oops, I did it again. Okay. Well, the future us knows that it's bishop e2. Yeah. Well, I didn't touch anything. I only changed the timing. If you check around to some of the games, you need a telescope to see the pieces. Really? Ah, that's crazy. Yeah, I definitely think that top-down action is great. If you're 100% sure you don't have a bald spot, then it's okay. I definitely remember some photos from like Olympiad and some videos. I can't remember which tournament it was, but I'm sure the players were not happy about that. Yeah. Just gotta make sure you don't have a bald spot. I don't have a bald spot yet. Top down is the best angle. Yep. Okay. Yep. Opponent has left the premises. And I guess we will just have to re-watch the last 9 minutes. Yeah. What I think I'm going to do though, chat, is set up a cam scene so that I can take my first break of today. It'll just be a couple minutes and I'll come back once we see the bishop e2 move that's on the board. Let me just set it up real quick. Copy, paste. One of the things I'm the best at. copying and pasting. There we go. I'll be back soon, everyone. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. Seems as though we're not doing too badly in terms of the sync. It's much, much better. And yeah, bishop e2 is currently on the board, so we can take a quick look at some of the ideas. I'm assuming here, I mean, it does sort of stop black's immediate plan of playing, you know, e5, e4. And it's very difficult for white to solve this problem. I mean, if we go back and move bishop d3, e5, and you don't want to have to deal with this, right? Because I think like one of the best moves, as we discussed, was probably queen c2. Then you have to deal with f5, and you really have to calculate. Yeah. c5 just doesn't feel too natural, as we mentioned before. But coming back, I think another reason for bishop to e2 is simply if e5, d5, and if e4, knight to d4, which could be one way to deal with it, because now the pawn is quite far up. You can play queen c2. Maybe I'm just fond of it because it's very similar to some sort of French structure, but for white this time. But apparently d5 is not a great move. c5 is good though. c5 is really good. What happens after captures? C takes. What is this? Castle and it's equal. Okay, better for black. But anyway, this position is somehow quite comfortable for black as well. But okay, we can go over some lines. Knight d7. It suggests bishop d3, but I'm gonna just continue here and say maybe castles is not too bad. Yeah, e5. We'll see e5 for sure. e5. And now c5 probably doesn't have a ton of ideas, just because takes, and the knight is taking, rook d8 is going to be played. There's no tempo gain, unfortunately. So yeah, let's take a look at knight to d7, which we might see. I'm wondering if there's ways that we can actually push this pawn, but it just weakens so many squares in the center. We do not want that. So castles, e5 again, and now what? 92 is decent. f5, and again this idea of playing a4, a5, a6. Yeah, indeed, everyone loves the French. I will always find a way to bring up the French. Yes. Oh, bishop e2, who would have thought? Yeah, thank you for keeping the element of surprise. Acting skills on point. Yes, indeed. All right, how's everybody doing in life in general? I need some updates so that we can keep things interesting. I mean, instead of putting words on stream on the screen. I'm joking. This is classical chess, and maybe we can even take a look at some of the other games played by some of the Italian players. It's been a long week. Okay, it is Friday. True. So tell us more about your week. Yeah. I'll tell you guys something that was probably going to happen today had I had more time. Yeah. It's not very interesting though. I was gonna get a tattoo. I'm joking. I don't think I would get a tattoo. But I was gonna get my ears pierced. It was a very exciting idea that I had. An epiphany at 3 a.m. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my ears pierced. And then it didn't happen. Yeah. Not very eventful, to be honest. You're in Germany, refereeing pool. No way. There's a referee in pool. Luckily we don't have a round going on now so I can watch. That's so awesome, G. Is that like your job? Refereeing pool matches? Do you play like pool professionally? That's amazing. I am unbeaten in backgammon in the past 10 years. I think this makes me world champion. Well, I did lose that 1 minute game. Yeah. Yeah, you did. I mean, they had the world championship match, not match, world championship open event in Monaco, which they have been doing for many years. You should play, because it's like an open event, no? It's more of a hobby. I play also at amateur level. That's amazing. I think being able to play pool well, it's a whole art. Yeah. What has been the craziest thing you've had to deal with as a referee in pool? People throwing the balls at each other? That could like knock a tooth out, to be honest. Oh, there's a move on the board. We have e5 without 97. Oh my gosh, and the world goes wild. Because now I think, what am I thinking? c5 was the move, right? Like you have to play c5 here. I think he has to find c5. He has to. He doesn't have a choice. You have no choice, sir. Yeah. What else can he do? Again, a4, a5. I'm going to stop mentioning this idea. Let's just imagine that in every instance is an idea that can be played. Castling. So one of these moves will be played. My money is on castling, a4, or c5. These are the three. Let's see what you guys think. I'm gonna run a poll. Which move will Luca play next? a4, castles, or c5? We'll run it for 5 minutes. We have the time. He's not back at the board yet. Good question. Probably refereeing a major tournament, Scotch doubles on TV, a TV table, where you have to remember who's in turn, how many consecutive fouls have been done. Lots going on there. Why do you have to keep tabs on the number of fouls? Is it like you play 2 fouls and you're out or something and you lose? He has a choice to stay in the bar. He's in the bar. Oh no. I'm trying to remember if there's no bar, but there is a cafeteria. Yeah, you could go and like grab something to drink or eat from the cafeteria. Yeah. If you do 3 fouls in a row, you lose the rack. What's a rack? Sorry, that was a bad joke. But also not a joke. I don't know what a rack is. Okay, so I'm gonna vote in the poll. I'm gonna choose the most exciting move. How is there only 1 vote in the poll? Come on, guys. Come on. And if you're wondering what in the heck, what poll, come over to Jesse Feb Twitch and vote. Where you keep the toast. Rack is like a frame, a point, a game. You play a race to 7 racks, for example, to win the match. Oh, against the same person, against the same people? Well, if it's doubles, the same people, I guess. Nice. I miss playing pool. Can't remember when last I played. Yeah, it's been a while. Like a year, maybe. Oh, I think the last time I played pool was at Maia. There's a photo of me playing pool at Maia with Lile and Anna Maia and Adriana. Yeah, that was fun. It's on Instagram. Okay, any more votes in the poll? We have 2 votes for castles, 3 votes for castling. Okay. Yes, Adriana, Palau, pool stream. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I was very bad at it, but it was still very, very fun. Yeah. Don't know how a pool stream would go, to be honest. Okay. So he's thinking, and yeah, he's down 27 minutes, 29 minutes. I need to do quick maths real quick. So that is 17 plus 13, 30 minutes down on the clock. And that is not good. It is the middle game, as long as he paces himself well enough, because right now they're on move 11. And he has a lot of moves to make until move 40. Yep. Alrighty. Let's see if there are any tactics in the position that could be played. Something that white could set up, maybe. I mean, black's made an incredible attempt at equalizing quite nicely. He's also opened up the bishop. I'm trying to imagine this pawn on a6, because maybe in some instance as well we could play something like knight to d2, bishop to f3, and get the pawn to a6. That could be very, very tricky for black to handle. So let's play it now. Let's say f5 anyway. Okay, I don't want to play f5 because it just ruins our plan. So maybe instead of this, just a4 first. Then we're going to play here, a5. I don't know, some normal move. And then knight d2. c5. Knight d2. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get the bishop to f3, unfortunately. But let's see, rook e8. Okay, that's still it. Rook d8, now bishop f3. Oh, but then e4 might be played. Okay, let's say c5. a6. Bum, bum, bum. e4. So queen c2. Rook b8. And now a6. I don't want to play rook b8 though. What happens if a6? Still castle, but it's nice for white. Yeah. And castles wins the poll. So Luca is going to feel all the energy to play castles. And he's going to play it. If I visit Valencia, I'm going to have to invite Adriana for a game of pool. Sure. I'm sure she would love that, yeah. Is she studying right now? I don't even know what she's up to, but I know she's been playing quite a bit as well. She's gained a lot of rating too. It's really nice because Spain has a lot of tournaments. I was there for a couple months last year. 2 months at the end of the year, December, January. Last year, July, August, September. Yeah, I really, really love it there. It's amazing. Chesterban, hello. Widgeon, hello. How you doing? If I find a pool table and I find someone to play pool against, I'll do a pool stream. Just using the emotes while I can. When does your sub run out? Oh, h4! I did speak about h4 at some stage. I'm not sure if h4 could work though, just because I'm a little bit afraid of the center being overexposed. For instance, if it doesn't seem very natural or human, but to play c5, maybe you can continue with h5. Because the whole point of h4 is you want to put the knight here, you want to put the bishop here, you want to put the queen here. Like, it's not so easy to achieve. It looks like he wants to state a claim here and say, listen, I'm out for blood. I'm out for blood. And yeah, my only concern is how are you going to achieve this, this, and this without at least putting one of your pieces in danger. Yeah, but let's say knight d7, for instance. Yeah, maybe queen c2, but you don't really want that. Queen b1. It's impossible to try and get the queen here. Maybe h5, h6. You can try and go with the knight. But the problem is this becomes a weakness if the king ever wants to get safe. So white has to try and close the center up a little bit, which isn't going to be easy. And imagine running with both flank pawns. Hi, Robin, Esperosa. Yeah, I suppose this is also possible. King of 1, g3, king g2. Or just like leaving the king on f1, if you don't really mind not connecting the rooks right now. Because sometimes the king can sit quite comfortably on a square like g1. So let's make an example. King f1. I don't know, knight f6. Or we could try to bring the rook to g3, but maybe it's a little bit misplaced there. Because if rook h3, knight f6, rook g3, and knight e4. Like, I'll make an example. Rook h3, yeah, knight f6, rook g3, and knight takes h5. Oh, that rook's gone, with a capital gone. Not so easy. But a rook left is a really nice idea. I like this idea that you suggested though, just getting the king safe. I'm shimmying it over. Okay, yeah, I like that. That's a really, really good suggestion. It's difficult to get your white pieces to the attack, don't mind white. Yeah. I wonder if Luke is going to castle at all. No, I don't think so. Not now, at least. No. Maybe if he really has to. But we're still sitting with this position, so, you know, anything's possible. The knight's protecting the pawn. Maybe we'll see, like, bishop to g4. But I think knight d7 is the most natural. Oops. Arrows. Do you prefer your knight going this way? Or do you prefer your knight going... Yeah. Also, none of our suggestions were correct. We were thinking a4, castles, or c5, and none of them were played. Sag. Would be really bad at gambling. Yeah, white's position doesn't look too bad, but it is really difficult to find a way to continue. I much prefer playing the side where the margin of error is just less, right? So you want to be able to play literally anything without having to worry about the aftermath. Like, for instance, if you bring the knight out, there are very few places that you can put the knight. That is bad, right? You can put the knight on f6, you can move the bishop first, then leave the knight on d7. But with white, that's not the case. Like, the margin of error is quite great. There's very few things you can do with your pieces without having to worry about them, right? So putting the queen on b3, now you have to worry about the center. Putting the bishop on d3, now you have to worry about e4. Putting the knight on g5, now you have to worry about h6 and the future of this pawn, maybe even. So it's very tricky, just the coordination is quite rough. We weren't even giving the option of h4. We didn't know h4 was going to even happen. I'm so sorry. All right, let's do another poll. This time, it's for black. Shall we? Okay. What will black play? Before he actually makes a move. So I think 97. Okay, h6 is definitely there. I think bishop g4 will be on his mind. c5 maybe, because he wants to open the center. Or f5. Alright, let's go. This should cover all of our bases, I feel like. He looks ready to move. In the last 30 seconds, he's shifted his body language a lot. So either he's ready to move or he's a little bit nervous. I'm going to vote for f5. And 97, there's a vote for 97 as well. Or something not in the poll. No. I'll not make life easy for you. Only difficult. Difficult, lemons, difficult. Did he play? No, he didn't play. He wants to. He's thinking about it. 2 votes for 97. I think 97 is very likely, yeah. I go 97, rook e8 with future knight f8. Why not f5, knight d7, knight f6? Isn't that stronger? You want to put the knight on f8? I feel like the knight just really wants to go to f6. The only reason the b8 knight doesn't go to f6 often is because the other knight is there. But now that the square is vacant, so knight c6, even though it would appear to not make much sense. Knight c6, okay. No, I mean, it's in the top 3 moves. There's knight d7, c5, and knight c6, but I didn't add it. Because it's not natural. It doesn't feel natural. You're a robot, Harry. You're a robot, Eduardo. Mr. Roboto, come on. He's gonna play. He played c5! Ladies and gentlemen, we did not vote for c5, but c5 is on the board. It's on the board. Can I change my vote now? We'll have to cancel the poll, it seems like. Well, the poll's still going to be running for 2.5 minutes without any... Yeah, okay, we got a c5 vote. Well done. Oh my gosh. I wonder if we can get the c5 votes up to 5 by the end of this poll. Alright, I like c5. c5 is a really strong move. Also makes a lot of sense because black wants to open up the center, given the fact that white hasn't castled, and in addition to that, isn't likely to castle after having played the move h4. So yeah, knight can now go to c6 as suggested by, wait for it, Widgeon. So maybe we'll see knight c6 in the next move. Yeah. Okay. I think I need more coffee to stay awake. It's been a long day. Yeah, it's been a long week. It's been a long life. Is the idea b7? B6 maybe? Or bishop b7? Knight c6? Knight a5? Bishop a6. Oh, you mean b6, knight c6, bishop a6, knight... Maybe, like in the... Is it the Rosolimo? Where often black is left with doubled c and c pawns. Yeah, c6 and c5. And that's exactly one of the ideas that white has. And I read this actually in Starting Out with the Grand Prix, which is a book And one of the ideas was playing exactly that, like b3, knight c3, knight f4, taking the knight on c6, and so on. Yeah, it's the first time that I saw this idea. Nice suggestion. Namzo Indian, it's often. Oh, okay, I don't play Namzo all that much because I'm not playing d4 with white and I'm not playing Namzo with black, so. But nice. It's good to know this idea. So that c5 blocks the pawn and c3 and c4. Yeah, it's a good way to lock down this weakness that white has, and in addition to that, white can never really do anything about it other than capturing the pawn or pushing the pawn. I didn't mean to drop the pawn there. My mouse just does that sometimes. I mean, I either blame my mouse or I blame me, but I think this time it was my mouse. 97-1 seems like a scam. Bavarian, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? Okay, we can close the analysis board now. Chat, do you remember I once spoke about a book I was writing, and then I took a pause from writing that book. I've revisited the idea because I really mapped out what I wanted from the book. I made like a cover of the book and everything. It was really glorious. And since I'm still stuck in essay for a bit, I wanted to revisit the writing process, which is actually quite exciting for me, because then I'll write it, I'll reread it, I'll edit it, and that's like a therapeutic thing for me. It's almost like adult coloring, but better. How to win friends and influence people. Haha. No, I first have to read that book, because I don't know how to win friends or influence people yet, so other than you can do it, we can do it, and other lines that may be misconstrued as cultural appropriation. Blaming chat is best, though. What is the book about? I'll give you one guess. It is a fiction book. It's like a novel. I'll give you one guess. I mean, so it's a combination of a bunch of things, but nothing I've seen on the market yet. So I'd like to. It's gonna be a sequel to, well, sequel? It's gonna be like a franchise. Nope, that's not the word. I don't know what the word is. Trilogy? No, that's 3 books. It's gonna be at least 2 books. Maybe 3, maybe... no, I think 3. Maybe trilogy is the correct one. Does it have any... What kind of a question is that? I'd have to Google how to write naughty bits in a book. That's horrible. I think this book will be for the broader audience. At least like 13 plus. So parental guidance is advised. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh, it's a book about weight loss. What? Where did you get that from? Okay, the chess pieces come to life. That is interesting. I might steal that. Yeah, it's like the movie Ted, but with chess pieces. And befriend main character, that it's exactly like Ted. A wider audience. That's awful. Oh my gosh. I understand now, but they also have fights and stuff. It's for the broader audience. Ah, okay, thanks for the laughter. I'm having a great time. Ah. Okay, I've calmed down now. All right, serious business. Luca is now down to 32 minutes on the clock, and he's looking off into the distance. He hasn't yet played, and I kind of understand it's going to be really difficult to find a way forward here, because do you continue with your H pawn, or does it sit looking pretty and silly? Though I don't think it's all that silly, because maybe you can continue on the queen side as well, just to gain a little bit of space. Because if black is the one to have space in the center, maybe Luca's idea is to have some space on the flanks. And nothing is really going to come out of the center at the moment, though, even though it's like super dynamic, I would argue that it's like, in a way, static too. Hear me out. White is not going to take. Black is not going to take. Not now, at least. So it's temporarily static, I'd feel like, despite everything being attacked. This is my assessment. Let me know if you guys agree. And in the meantime, I am going to go on another short break. I'm going to go blow my nose. And I'll be back soon, everyone. Thanks for the laugh, by the way. Oh, wait! Luca might play. If he plays, we'll stay. He played h5! Ladies and gentlemen, h5 is on the board. h5 is on the board. I should threaten to leave more often. But I think h6 will just quickly be played here. Very, very quickly. Static, but white will lose the c4 pawn. Not right now, but maybe in the future, yes. h5, Luca is a true trooper. Very true. Very true per... That was a bad joke. Alright, I think h6 is just natural. He's gonna spend a couple minutes confirming it. Maybe he's thinking beyond h6, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense to not play h6. Plus, Luca doesn't really have a follow-up. I don't know why he's walking around so much. He doesn't have a lot of time on the clock. I mean, he's down 35 minutes. It's not a good idea. And I've spoken about this on commentary streams before, speaking about earning the right to walk around. If you are up on time, you're allowed. If you need the bathroom, sure. Emergencies, fine. But if you are just going to be walking around, stretching your legs, you have to earn that right. And he has not earned that right here. I feel like that it's going to come back and bite him a little bit later on. Time management is super important in classical games. He's just going to charge forward now? You think so? I think h6 will be played. Alright, still going to use this time to BRB. I'll be back soon. And there is movement. Movement on the board. Oh my gosh, we have E4. Ladies and gentle beings, this is the moment that the world goes wild. The world goes crazy. The world cannot handle his genius. But what genius is it really? Luca will take this into his own hands. Oh my gosh. One of the friends that me and Anzel made at Maia messaged and said that the tournament is not the same without us. And another, we miss you and Anzel in Maia. Oh, truly. Yeah, I'm having a lot of FOMO, to be honest, but it's okay. We'll play next year. Definitely. No two questions about it. He's a genius. Not specific. Good luck writing, I guess everybody says. Just do a little each day. Exactly. But sometimes there's like writer's block. But is it really called writer's block if you're not really a writer? Then I think it's just called block or lack of brain cells. So sometimes you have the energy to write. Sometimes you have the creative juices flowing. And sometimes just not. But I do have, I'll tell you how many pages of prep work that I have from the last time I edited this was November last year. 12 pages of prep. And that's excluding the writing I've already done on the book. Yeah, these are just like mind maps and ideas and stuff. Back to the game. We have knight to h4 on the board. What does this mean in reality? It means that the knight is on the edge of the board. Yes. I'm trying to understand, though, what will happen after a move like f5, maybe g3. And the plan is to exchange this bishop. So if f4, then bishop f4. But also I see this happening. So h6 is a definite threat. The craziest thing, the engine is suggesting g5 by black, which also once again just doesn't feel very human. And after taking, maybe taking back with the f-pawn, because you're protecting h7 with the queen, you're attacking f2 with the rook, and the knight really doesn't have a lot of squares to go to. So now with g3, something like knight c6, knight g2 coming back, g5 stopping the knight from ever reaching any of these squares, and then castles? No. Alright, let's go. He played very fast, yeah? Knight c6 and? Trying to see if he played something. I don't think he did. No, okay. He was just writing down his move. So knight c6 is on the board currently. Some natural moves. Okay, this is not at all something he can consider right now, unfortunately, because f5, and he'll lose a tempo. g3, bringing the knight back, because after g3, there might be g5 anyway. And then you have to take, and I think the point is that black gets g5 in, which makes it impossible for the knight to go anywhere. And this is true. Right. Let me guess, the cover photo is a sunflower. Far from the truth. You can, if you guess the cover color correctly, I will give you a crisp high five. Feel black is wondering if h6 needs to be stopped. Honestly, I kind of feel it will allow white to play it. Oh, I would allow white to play it and not care. Just like knight c6 here, h6, g6, and ask white what he intends. We just go after c4 pawn if white doesn't do anything. Alright, you know what it's time for, right? Yep, it's time for blind Jesse. Blitz Hernandez, thank you so much for the follow. That's beautiful, actually. No way g5 will be played. Yeah, it's a great idea. I mean, you have to be able to see that that the plan is to play g5 or have the pawn be on g5 when the knight is on g2. It's noticing that the knight will be limited for a really, really long time because it'll be impossible to get it anyway after that. We can go over it again. Okay, g5. And if just knight back already, like you have to play king f1 and then maybe f3 or knight c2 and still nothing. Very, very tough. Burgundy. No. I mean, you can use it like basic colors. It's not a basic color, but it's like a shade of a basic color. Okay, I have the name of it. Rainbow. No. Green, yes. But it's a shade of green. Good guess. Yeah, it's got some nice art on it as well. Yeah. Alright, so let's see what the... Oh, here's your crisp high five, by the way. It's very crispy. Hey, the real Bravich. Greetings from Kenya. Hi. Hi, Kenya. Midnight green. What is midnight green? Midnight green. That's a pretty green. It's not that. I do like this green though. It's very pretty. My phone is that color actually. Yeah, it's the like midnight green. I really like the color. But no. No. And his opponent steps away from the chessboard. Yes, I am narrating. Luca is tapping his leg against the floor, nervously seeking a move, a way out. An escape for his knight. British racing green. If you're talking about Mercedes, no. No, actually, I mean that's more metallic or like actually very close. Very, very close. Yeah. Nice. Okay, let's consider what Luca might be thinking about here. Definitely not touching the center with a 10-foot pole. I think g3, I don't know about g4, I'm not fully convinced that a move like g4 will be played. You definitely also don't want to get your knight into trouble. I was thinking about ways in which we could develop the queen, potentially play a move like king to d2, which looks risky, but I'm not sure where else to put the king, and then bringing the rook to g1 like this. So we could see g4 in play, followed by king d2 and queen c2. I think this will definitely be some candidate moves that we can consider. I like the idea of g4 because one, it's gaining some space on the king side, also allowing the square for the knight to come back, and yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if he just went king d2 directly. King d2 is not great according to the engine, but okay, looking at it from a human's POV, some logic would dictate you would need to open the center, but how do you do that with black other than playing something like f5? I mean, you'd want to be a little bit, is erratic the word? So maybe starting with g4 because you don't want f5. Oops. g4, if g5, knight. Okay, take it for the open h file. Take back, or maybe not take it because, but you'd have to if you want some activity on the king side. No, what? Bishop f1? So interesting, actually. So interesting. Okay, so the idea is perhaps to play g3 and bishop h3. So what Luca wants is to exchange this bishop because of the pawns being on... no, I mean, I don't understand, actually. I would be very interested to know. Maybe. Leave the knight there. Okay, play g3. And then play bishop to g2. Hit this square. So maybe even g4 is on the docket. You want to play g4, you want to play bishop g2, you want to play queen c2, and so on. Could be very interesting. But I also know that he's under pressure on the clock. They've only played 14 moves and he's already got 24 minutes left. So not easy. It doesn't look fun, but of course we also know this but sort of very, very common notion that if you think too long, you start to overthink. Oh, so sorry. That was the worst kind of ASMR. If you think too much, you start to overthink and you end up playing maybe the last move you looked at for 2 minutes. Bishop c1. I'm sorry. Bishop f1 to put the pieces ready for the next. That's horrible. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's quickly take a look at what's happening. Do we have anyone in Luca's chat who's alive and well? Please do say hi and buongiorno. Okay, we're going back to our Google Translate because we're really, really bad at Italian and I want to contribute towards I hope everyone is doing well. Spero che tutti stiano bene. Is the accent bad? The accent's probably bad. But that's my attempt at saying I hope everyone is doing well. Ooh, let's try something hard. What is your evaluation of this position? Come valuti questa posizione? Posizione. I don't know why that sentence makes me hungry for calzone. Calzone. Is this a shared chat? It's not, but I do have Restream up as well. So I'm checking it out as we go. Apologies for my bad accent. Mi scuso per il mio pessimo accento. A lot of O's in the language Italian. Just add O's to every word and you've got it going. Accent is accento. Chess is cesso. Pizza is pizzao. Crack the code. Chef's kiss. Alright, so I think that black might actually take some time here because it's one thing having this feeling or having the correct assessment of the position, being like, okay, I know, I think, or I know that I'm better, and actually finding the way forward. So yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult to capitalize on whatever advantage he has, because the most difficult position to win is a one position. And I've always been paraphrasing, and I'm sure there's always a better way to phrase that. But yeah, when you have a winning position or you have a position that's much better, the conversion is always the trickiest part, and you have to spend the time that you have on the clock trying to figure out a way. So yeah, I think black, we discussed black's plans here, including g5. I'm also thinking about c takes d4. Well, I'm always thinking about neutralizing the center somehow, because the problem that black has is that after this pawn moved, maybe it's not a problem, it's a nice spatial advantage, but once you move this pawn, these are the two squares that black has given up, because you always control the square that you're on and the square that you're attacking. And unfortunately, when it comes to pawns, once you move them forward, there's just no looking back, because their necks can't strain further than 45 degrees, left or right. Haha. Let's see what happens after captures, though. Okay, we'll take back with the c pawn. Then what? Doesn't seem very natural to help white get rid of their problems, unless you're a therapist. Queen f7. Rook h2. No. Rook a2 maybe. b5 is wild. b5 because takes, rook is hanging. Bishop d7 is more natural. What else? Okay, bishop d7 because you want to bring the rook in. And maybe something like queen c2 to defend c4, defend a2, defend f2. It's an overloaded queen though, and d5. Yeah, this position seems just easier for black. Plus, you're leaving the defense of this pawn. But if black takes it, I'm not so sure what happens now. Maybe taking on e4. But do you really want to take on e4 and open up the e file like that? Yeah. So, chat, thoughts. Once again, we see that Luca is not at the board. I really like their tablecloths. I see that the tablecloths are checkered, and I think they have the Maia or the club's logo on it. Those don't look like comfortable chairs. So usually for tournaments in general, I'm always bringing some like little cushion with me. Yeah, I had this for the South African Championship because the chairs were always uncomfortable and I knew we were going back to the same venue. I had a flower cushion that you could just like sit on, and it was so comfortable. And the nice thing is that there was also like a coffee tea station. So I was like set. I was good to go. And even though it was cold, I had my warm beverage in a very comfortable seat And yeah, I mean, if you're playing in comfort and you have nothing else to worry about, you are bound to perform at your best. And scored a really nice 10.5 out of 11 that tournament. So yes, flex. Okay. So Eduardo is deep in thought. He has entered the think tank. When does the think tank open? I'd say anything after 5 minutes. Okay, no, that's brave. Anything after 7 minutes, and you have entered the think tank. Because 5 minutes of thinking is still okay. It's like double checking, triple checking some things, or looking over some lines, giving you like at least a minute to procrastinate ideas if you need it, to be distracted. But 7 minutes, that's it. How do the chairs and tables you ordered compare to these ones at Maia? They're so much better. So much better. They're cushioned. They're really nice. Very sad that they didn't go with the one that I wanted. But yeah, we ordered some tables and chairs for the academy. And they're upholstered chairs, so it's nice. But hi, Smart Sky, how are you? Really nice to see you. It's all about the cushioning. Yeah, you know how many chess players have back problems? It's wilding. And you gotta care about your players. Gotta make sure that they feel comfortable. Also, I have the results. I finally received the results of the students who wrote the exams. And I can't wait to get back to coach. Because the coach is like barely following my lesson plans. Well, they're taking the topic and they're doing their own thing with it, and it's quite disappointing. Though the material's in English and the coach is Arabic, so it's like, what do you do? And then when they write the exam, it's like, yeah. Let's just say one thing, I didn't need to prepare any certificates. So that was some very, very sad news that I heard today. The worst part is I made it easy, so yeah, the exam is supposed to be easy. Yeah. Very disappointed. I mean, a bit in not being there, but it's okay. Once I'm there, things will change. Things will get better. Things will be great. Easy in English. Chess is a universal language. It's easy in every language. Well, not easy, but it's understandable in all languages. Yeah, it's universal. Sorry, I like started dying because I don't know how to human. Eduardo is absolutely shook from this move, bishop to f1. He doesn't know how to comprehend such genius. Genes, yes. I will be right back, chat. I just want to grab a beverage and I will return. And I have returned. Yeah, Robin said it a little bit better than I could have. I just mentioned that the evil bar is evil, and Robin did a better job. He always struggled at analyzing middle game positions. If only streamers took the time to do. Sure. All right. If I understood a little bit better myself, I would explain. But we did go over a couple of lines, and I would like to note some very important information. Screws, yes, smart guy. Is that I lost my train of thought, to be honest with you. Right. So we were discussing some ideas in the Nimzo, which was generally putting the pawn on b6, putting the bishop on a6, and targeting weak points in the positions in the opponent's position. Another thing is spotting a weakness and potentially creating another. These are just basic principles that you learn from books like Aaron Nimzovich, My System, Principle of Two Weaknesses. Something that's more advanced is comparing your pieces to the opponent's pieces. So giving an evaluation to this knight versus this knight. And how do you evaluate the power of a piece or the activity of a piece? It's to count the number of squares it can go to and how many squares it has control over. So for instance, a knight on the flank may have the potential to be stronger, but if it is stuck on the flank, you're going to give it a lot lower it's going to be weaker than a knight, for instance, that's closer to the center and has more squares and more potential. Right, my English is like running out. I'm not so sure what's happening. I didn't get a lot of sleep. All right, so knight a5, knight c4 is an idea. This knight is also controlling d4 and e5. So if we could to compare these two, you'd definitely say that black's knight is stronger. In other words, white would definitely want to exchange knights if possible. And once that is achieved, of course, things would be a little bit better in white's favor. Not to say white would be winning or anything, but it would be more level. Then we look at the bishops. Then the bishop can move to c8, e8, e6, f5, g4, and h3. And the white bishop can only reach 2 squares. So again, you would evaluate this and say, okay, the black's bishop is stronger than white's bishop. You do the same for the queen and the rooks. Then you look at the pawn structure and you look at the number of pawn islands. For instance, no pawns have been exchanged yet, but black doesn't have a break in their pawn structure, meaning that all the pawns are connected, and white does. We could consider this pawn a little bit alone at the moment, though just by simply playing f5 it is connected once again. This pawn is isolated, so this is one of the ideas that white had a little bit earlier. Not sure if that idea still stands, but is to push it and to create this like minority attack. At the time the pawn was on c8, so 3 versus 1. Because you want to get rid of your weaknesses, and black's goal is to create more weaknesses in your camp. Another thing is once black gets hold of a weakness like c4 or c3, he can slowly also put pressure on this flank pawn, which is also a bit of a weakness at the moment. That's why h4 would have been a good idea if white had access to this diagonal, because then with the pawn on h4 and the knight on g5, things could have been a little bit maybe easier to navigate. I hope that helps in some way in trying to evaluate a position, or at least play in the middle game. Because the first step is understanding the position. The second step, or the steps that follow, is how to move forward in a position like the middle game. So without understanding it, there's not going to be a clear way forward. There's no like roadmap and saying, okay, these are the perfect rules to follow, because unfortunately most rules have exceptions. And the one thing I still struggle with is pawn advancements and exchanges in the center. And in order of importance, the center is best controlled with a pawn, then a knight, then a bishop, then I would say queen, then rook, but maybe I'm wrong. Then a king, of course, in the endgame. But yeah, we're still talking about the middle game. It's very easy to find 5 good moves for black. Wait, Smart Sky can't be both Jenny and Screw, surely. Summon to bed though, good night. Good night, Robin. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. You did get a beverage, I assume it's coffee. Have a sip? No, it's water. Thanks, it does help. You can teach well at times. When my English works, then I can teach well. Yeah. It helps working with training material every day now, because I'm either creating exams or summarizing lesson plans. So I do feel more confident when it comes to teaching. I never had this sort of guidance or sort of curriculum to handle, and my lessons were all over the place. I'd be like, oh, this looks cool, let's work on it today, or let's analyze some games, or let's play some like rapid games and then analyze them and stuff like that. So my coaching was definitely flawed, and now I feel like it's gotten a huge jump. I've gotten some, confidence in teaching, and there's more structure, so it feels nice. But along with the lesson plans, I also find there's some gaps in my knowledge, which helps so much. Okay, G3 was played. Because even if you're reading a book dedicated to 1600s and maybe you're in 1800, there is a lot of value in still going over that book, because there might be some gaps in your knowledge, and maybe you'll come across something. I was in high school and there was a general knowledge quiz that I wrote. One of the questions were regarding why does a plane take 2 hours longer to get from this place to this place than it does to return, or something along those lines. And the answer had to do with time zones. But little old me, who was well versed in maybe some geography and things we learned like plateaus and difference like atmosphere and stratosphere and the Earth's mantle core, whatever, I knew zero about time zones. And for the life of me, I thought it was some riddle that it was unsolvable, and I can't even remember what horrible answer I gave. But in the end, it was the fact that you were either losing time or gaining time in the air, or and that just took me aback. I was like, I knew time zones existed, but didn't know that happened when you were flying from one place to another. Yeah. So that was the gap in my knowledge. I knew so many other things that were probably not even as important as knowing that very one thing. It made me feel stupid, but now I know a lot of random things about silly topics. Maybe that was a bad example, but I'm full of bad analogies, so please follow for more. What was the name of the car in The Dukes of Hazzard? Herbie? I don't know. The Terminator? Optimus Prime? And the Bean app seems to be allowing you to stay away from doom scrolling. Exactly, I've been literally, yes. Time zones are silly. Oh my gosh. Now I need to know. General Lee and it's general knowledge. Okay, ask me something else. I feel like we need to do some general knowledge quizzes on stream. Jenny wanted to. Yeah. How about I ask chat some general knowledge questions? Who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize? Oh, these ones are a little bit easy. Marie Curie, yes. Madame Curie. No way. Uh-oh. You have it on now to stay focused on commentary. This is true. This is very, very true. I mean, we have g3 on the board. I think that Eduardo's going to play very, very soon. And I think his move is actually going to be something along the lines of f5, so that... Oh, maybe not. Maybe g5. He might find g5, but by his body language, he might be playing something in the center. I'm also not so sure about bishop d7, but maybe he just wanted to get the pieces out. I think he's gonna play rook c8. Just according to his body language, I think he's gonna play rook c8. And then after knight to g2 or bishop... Okay, bishop g2, no, maybe he's waiting for bishop g2, there'll be g5. Okay, coming back. Oh, next question. Oh, what was the Turkish city of Istanbul? Ugh. What was the Turkish city of Istanbul called before 1923? This one's a fun one. Dun dun. Constantinople, yes. Yes. All right. What is the process by which a liquid changes into gas? General knowledge quiz questions. Vaporization? Not quite. Boiling? No. Evaporation, yes. Evaporation is it. All right. Which country has the highest life expectancy? I didn't know this one, actually. I mean, I would have... Yeah. I would have thought something else. Rook d8 was played. Okay, I was very close with the body language thing. That's kind of scary if you think about it. That's very, very scary that I knew that this rook was coming. Okay, I can predict too many things. Okay, so now Luca is thinking about two different things. I just want to look at his body language. I know you're cringing hard right now, chat. Okay, he wants to move his queen. I feel it in my fingers. I think he wants to move the queen. He's probably thinking about queen b1 here. What does the engine suggest? Knight g2, rook b1, or bishop e2? I think queen b1. Bishop h3! I was wrong. That was my second guess, to be honest with you. Bishop h3 is on the board. Nepal, they are high. Not South Africa, thanks. Japan, close. Close, very close. How many moves away from additional time? Right now they're on move 16. So really, really far away. Still another 24 moves to make. It is Hong Kong. You're going to challenge the evaporation vaporization claim. That's fine. Let's go back and check. I was also thinking something along those lines. That's true. Vaporization. Vaporization can occur in two ways: evaporation and boiling. So these things are actually true, yes. Sorry, I questioned you, chap. Alright, next. Who is the ancient Greek god of the sun? I wonder why they're giving an X here, but maybe I was thinking about F5. But apparently this is just as good. Ah, because C4 is lost. So, yeah, this is just a simple tactic, I think, that he missed. And Eduardo found it. He's just going to be taking the bishop off and then playing this queen to e6 move. Which, I understand. I mean, Luca is down to 16 minutes on the clock. He's under pressure. Is Hong Kong a country? It's got a flag. It's got borders. It's got people. Helios. Yes, it is Helios. For some reason it says Apollo, but I think that Apollo is just... Helios is like the main dude. And Apollo apparently is just another sun deity. I didn't know this one. Aurelian is a shade of what color? And Aurelian, I think, is just a League of Legends champion. Yeah. Is Apollo Greek? Is he not Greek? Is he Roman? Apparently was a major Olympiad god in Greek and Roman mythology. God of light, music, poetry, healing, prophecy, archery, and beauty. These people are lying. What phone company produced the 3310? This one's a good one. Oh, okay, Queen e6 is on the board. Back to chess, everyone. Back to chess. Apollo had a dual passport. He could go to Olympus and Rome. Okay. I mean, one way to deal with it, I guess, you could give up the exchange, take the knight. But then, yeah, you're having to deal with a lot of unnecessary things, probably, after that. Here I'm thinking g4 is another way. Queen takes c4, you're giving up a pawn. But then you have to protect this, and if you play queen to d2... I mean, it feels like a lot, but it is only a pawn. Maybe there are other ways. The Gen Alpha is asking what's a 3310. It's a phone model. An indestructible kind. Okay. So 15 minutes left on the clock for Luca. Is he going to find a way out here? I think he's going to play g4 or rook back, but chances of rook back, I'm not so sure. g4 we played. We don't have a pawn fork, unfortunately, because the rook is hanging. Only had one game in black and grey. Snake. I played Snake on my mom's Nokia 3310. This wasn't just one game though, surely. Okay, you could make songs, you could make ringtones with the keyboard. I used to make ringtones. And what else did I do? Wasn't there like a bounce game? There was Snake. Something with cards. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. But Snake was the OG game. Yeah, there was also this Nokia model that had like, not a flip, but it flipped like this way. And like had a little antenna. So it was before the Nokia 3310. Made ringtones. Such memories. Did you also used to make ringtones? Yeah, I was like, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Memes. Oh my gosh. His fleece was white as snow. Good old days. Giving away our age. Oh no. Wait, are you older or younger than me? Okay, you don't have to dox yourself. Okay, bringing the rook back, though, also gives Luca a chance to connect the rooks a little bit later. Because you also don't want to be stuck pinning your pawn to the rook. Pinning your rook to the pawn. Pinning the queen to the rook. Pinning. Involving a queen, a pawn, and a rook. Sounds like a Jane Austen novel. And the dogs were gone the whole day and now they're back. Though I was awakened at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning with blaring sounds of people yelling and construction work going on next door. 0 warning, by the way, so we're just very hard to get things done during the day, but hopefully it doesn't continue for too long and it's not like a huge job, it's just some paving situation going on. Yeah. All right, next question. What is the world's largest retailer? Oh, wait. What is a word, phrase, number, or other sequence of characters that reads the same backward as forward? Dogs, construction work, people screaming, it's all happening next door. Different next doors. The dogs are on one side and the construction was on the other. So it was funny the other week watching Hikaru trying to stream with drilling happening next door. Really? Oof, that was rough. It's like you have to do a silent stream or something. You watch Hikaru? I'm not judging. Judging a little bit. No, I'm not. I used to watch Hikaru when I started streaming. And the rook came back. Right. So, yeah, I mean, you probably don't want to pin yourself. But also with queen takes, maybe later you can castle. Yeah, I think queen takes c4 and just queen d2 or rook c1. I think queen d2 is more natural just because, but maybe you want to bring the queen out. So maybe rook c1 is fine because then the queen will come back probably, then you can play g4. He couldn't stop complaining about Hikaru complaining about stuff? What? Hmm. Yeah, he's taking it. He took on c4. 29 minutes left on the clock. And now they're on move 18. Move 19, actually. And yeah, I think that Luca needs to just play a little bit faster. Still 21 moves to go until time control. Yeah, rook c1 will be played for sure. Yep, rook c1 is on the board. Rook c1 is on the board. There are fewer streamers to choose from these days. Hikaru's still going strong though. That's true. He's stuck to streaming since 2016. That's almost 10 years of streaming. I mean, that takes a lot of energy, I'm sure. But he's dedicated to the art, and that's important. Are you winning, son? Aye, aye, Captain. I was asking questions to chat, but then the general knowledge answers were giving us lots of things to question in our lives. Which country would you find Mount Kilimanjaro? General knowledge isn't so general. We'll see how much he'll stream when Mini Hikaru arrives. True! I think he's going to have Mini Hikaru be on stream, but I don't know how Tusa's going to feel about that. Tanzania, yes! Which is the only continent with land in all 4 hemispheres? What a strange question. Eduardo cracking his neck. 4 hemispheres? That's what I was thinking. I only know about 2 hemispheres, but apparently east and west is also a hemisphere. Yeah, I didn't know that until now. You didn't answer my question though. What is the word? What is a word, phrase, number, or other sequence of characters that reads the same backward as forward? Well, then they are an infinite number. Oh, you answered it? My bad. Palindrome, yes. My apologies. I wasn't looking. What capital would you find the Little Mermaid statue? I didn't know this. Alright, so what is Eduardo thinking about now? Oh, he's getting ready to move. I think there's a good chance he'll bring the queen back. But if he brings the queen back, then there's this, so actually no, I take that back. What is white threatening? Though it's not going to be easy for black to defend white's threats. Namely, g4, knight f5, h6. Like, all of these are coming really, really fast. He seems a little uneasy, as he does when he's about to move. And there's still this f5 move, which will stop a lot, I think. I don't think that Luca will easily go into a queen trade ending with queen e2. We want him to bring his queen back then. Sure. Copenhagen, yes. Africa. Is that the answer to the Little Mermaid one or the hemisphere one? Because Africa is correct. Africa crosses the equator and the Greenwich Meridian. True. Africa is a great country. Which planet in the Milky Way is the hottest? Give me 1 second, chat. Alright, I'm back. Do we know all the planets in the Milky Way? I would imagine so. Well, we know all the ones that are closest to the sun, at least. So, yeah. Milky Way. Maybe solar system is better, but Milky Way is a solar system, isn't it? Abort. Ah, I see the issue. No, Jesse. Oh, my apologies. Okay. I obviously don't know my planets. I'm spitballing. I'll see myself out now. Milky Way is a galaxy. I should do some more work on my astronomy, which I only recently learned is different to astronomy. But you know what? That's just because Mercury was in retrograde. Queen to d5 has been played. Alright, and I'm wondering if c4 is possible here, though I think it's something that black is probably trying to provoke, because after c4 there's queen g5, and you can't really go ahead and play this move because the knight will just have access to too many important squares. So I think, what am I thinking? Maybe h6 is nice, g4 is nice. Nice enough. I think h6 is possible. Yeah. h6 will be played. Suppose you think you're the center of the universe as well? No, we don't know where the center of the universe is. But I am somewhere in the universe, yes. No way. You made that question up, didn't you? Which question? The hottest planet in the Milky Way? Very precarious queen move, bringing up c4 ideas, forcing queen g5. That's the thing. If c4, it weakens d4. And you're never going to play d5, or you're never going to take. So I don't think Lucas should play c4. You know, it's better to just keep the center as close as possible. And after, okay, c4, queen here. I mean, knight g2 and now takes. Like, this is bound to happen. And d5. Very, very difficult to deal with this. So I don't think he's going to play c4. Maripant with the prime, let's go! Thank you, Maripant. Hi, Maripant. Good morning, JR. How you doing? Jesse's the Big Bang confirmed. Sure. I will do some homework on planets. And I'll own you all. Oh no, Waterfall clipped something. Astronomical. Let me listen. What does it say? Sorry, astrology. Astrology is what I was trying to say. I actually sound so stupid, but it's okay. This is what stream content is all about. Yeah. Astrology is what I was talking about. Astronomy is different to astrology. I'm okay. We were just exposing me because if planets were involved in the new edition of GeoGuessr, you best believe I will not be playing. Alex does voices. Thanks for the follow. Now I am confused. Wait, why are you confused exactly? Because I said the word astronomy twice and didn't realize. Yeah. Could definitely be a reason to be confused. I like Queen G4. I like it a lot because it's not clear. It's not 100% clear what black should do. Like bringing the knight back is natural, but I'm pretty sure that black will try to find a way to neutralize. Like for sure he's thinking about taking on d4. There's a good chance he will be taking on d4 because one, it sort of forces this and also opens up the door to queen a5, but perhaps this also opens up the door to a really cold winter called knight f5. So he has to be careful. Really careful. Knight e7 might be played. Then I think that would be followed by now c4 with the idea of playing d5 because the knight will no longer be able to reach the square e5 immediately. So he's thinking about this. I think he's going to take. He's going to take. This is what's going to happen. I am foreshadowing knight f5, g6 and knight h6. Takes. Check. I think white still has chances to equalize here. Okay, but he's leaning towards the king side, which makes me think knight e7 will be played. Yep, knight e7 is coming. Oh, he's hovering. Okay, knight e7 was played. Knight e7 was the best move. We got it, unfortunately. Is there a cheeky queen g4? Insert black move, c4, queen e6, and knight f5 or something. Really nice. Alman got it. Really cool. Sorry, sweet blues. Sorry to disappoint all of you. I promise I have knowledge in different areas. But planets is not where I shine. Ask my mom. I'm smart. Okay, knight e7 and now c4 for sure will be played. He's thinking about it. He's got 7 minutes left on the clock. And they're on move 21, so still really far away to go. He's going to have to start speeding up. Unfortunately, though, with having to play faster, it often means less accurate moves. But I think after c4, I mean, queen e6 could be played. And maybe you actually just take it and after takes, you take here. I think taking here is not too bad. Because look at this. It really looks like white might have a chance to attack back. I mean, you're coming back with the knight. I missed rook d3. Nihad Chess King, we are rooting for Luca, who's playing with the white pieces. We are commentating for him in round 1 of the Maia Chess Open that is happening in Maia, Porto. Porto? Yes, Porto. Yeah. Portugal. 6 minutes left. Luca, move! He's not leaning on his right arm anymore, so he's ready to strike. And the iron is hot. Oh dear. Oh, he played. Knight to g2 was played instead of the c4 move. He probably doesn't want to exchange queens. It makes sense. Also with the move like knight to f4, the knight will be more active on a square like that. Queen e6. What happens if queen e6? Takes, maybe? I like knight g2 very much. Yeah. Tough position. Come on, Luca. Move. Yeah, Luca needs to do the shami and vuckle. Needs to wake up. Queen f5 is still available. Queen f5. But how about, I mean, queen f5, we gain a tempo with queen h4, attacking the knight. Maybe the knight goes to d5, but then we have g4. What's happening here? Okay, let's go over it. Queen f5, I think queen h4. Queen takes? How so? Apparently taking is fine and not g4, sorry. Knight f4. G4 is also okay. G4. Knight e7. Just the point is that you get your space back. And it's like a bit better for black, but not as winning as before. How does the knight move? Tell us. How does the horsey move? After knight f4. Okay, let's make an example then. h6, knight f4, queen f5, queen f5, knight f5, and apparently, why king f1? Or maybe the king needs to make it to g2 like someone suggested earlier. d7. And it's like equal endgame. I think black will want to keep the queens on the board. Maybe. f5 now. Let's try to figure it out. If f5, maybe same thing, right? We're playing, oh, but instead of queen h4, we're playing queen g5. f5? I like queen g5, yeah. Looks crazy, but yeah, I think it works. Yeah. Queen f5 is on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Luca's chance to make a comeback in this position. He only has 5 minutes on the clock, but he's probably thinking, I'm down a pawn right now. I shouldn't be exchanging, but also It's so natural to think that Queen H4 is going to fix things. Maybe taking. He should see it. He should breathe it. He should become it. Well done, Amen is predicting everything. Take it, take it, take it, take it. And the crowd goes wild. He dips below 5 minutes, and this is the Bermuda Triangle of time when it comes to chess. Taking so natural? I don't know if it's natural. When you're down so much time, less to calculate, not even bait. Or rook h4. Oh my. Queen h4 is on the board. And that's what I was thinking. Maybe rook h4 feels a little bit more unnatural just because of rook h4 takes, and your rook is a little bit misplaced. Doesn't have a lot of range. And d5 probably solves the world's energy crisis. Not even bait. Yeah. But they were both following principle here. The principle is that when you're up in material, you want to exchange pieces. When you're down in material, you want to avoid it at all costs, so he keeps the queens on the board. So you can't fault him on that. Not at all. I think he's going to move the knight. He's not going to play f6. He's leaning that way, though. He's leaning that way, so we might see an f6 on the board. He's going to play it. f6 will be on the board soon. Then, I don't know. All rook endgames lead to Rome. Okay, let's see if he plays f6 here. A lot of players have finished their games already, it seems. Yeah, it's crazy to think that black hasn't lost a single pawn in this position. And, right, so just a matter of time. I'm going to use this chance to run to the restroom one more time before the crazy time scramble. I'll be right back. I have returned. Yeah, I also had to let Coda out. You lost your sub? Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was expiring today. Time advantage slipping, Luca might pull a clutch. Yeah, that's true. He's catching up on time at least. Just wanna wipe this. Also, you're playing in the league tomorrow. Good luck. Oh man. Is this your prep? Watching some commentary? Do you know who you're playing yet? Tomorrow? Oh, it doesn't show on my screen. It just shows the words of the emote. Jesse Feb, Coda Kek. Yeah, it doesn't show on. They're just words. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah. I'll gift some subs if we ever do an event sometime soon to some winners. Yeah. You could go exclam Coda. Coda emotes are more than words. That's true. Not my prep, but it's my insomnia. Well, it's not midnight yet, so, you know. Oh, a move has been played? What did black play? Knight to d5. But now I think maybe knight f4 works, right? Maybe we can play g4. Why does it do this? Maybe we can play g4 first. But then queen f6. And he doesn't want to take. Maybe we can play g5. So g4. Flip. g4, queen d7. And maybe then knight f4. But no, that doesn't make any sense. What about knight f4? He doesn't want to trade. Okay, g4 is going to happen. I feel it in my bones. g5? You can't go into think mode. You gotta go into move mode. They're on move 23 right now, chat. Some pretty serious business. Pretty serious business. Should still have 6 hours of sleep. Worried about queen f3 though. I'm not too worried about that. He can enter, but he cannot do anything else. Because after queen f3, I'm not looking at the engine, trying to figure this out on my own. Can we play king f1? King f1 is a move, but apparently h6 is the way to go. Because after g6 you have, oh my gosh, c4! Let's go! Because now the plan is simple. We want to play rook h3 and trap the queen. So moving the knight is bad due to rook h3. And it's gorge. Move 23 with 4.5 minutes. Scary. It is Springer Archie. c4 is on the board, ladies and gentlemen. And this knight is going to be moving sometime soon, somewhere on the board. And then we might not have a g4 anymore. Knight f6 is what he was probably hoping for and praying for. But then knight f4. The problem is, chat, that you might have to play d5 here. Yeah. And then there's attack on f2. Knight f4 can stop it, but then rook. What about g5? Doesn't work. Oh, now it's winning for white. I knew that, obviously. This is just queen h7 mate. I knew that. We all knew this. Still tricky. Still difficult. The time difference was more staggering, believe it or not, on Odinson. Believe it or not. Yeah. It was scarier, but now we're here. We have delayed English. Oh, what an interesting take. Okay, knight f6 is on the board. Now I think it's not simple, but knight f4 might happen. Knight f4 might happen. Once again, you don't want this to happen, so maybe d5. I'm thinking between d5 and knight f4. Yeah. 30-minute naps can cause insomnia, believe it or not. Scientifically proven. But so can a cup of coffee at midnight, but okay. At move 23-24, neither side has time. Yeah, it has gone quite quickly. Although black has had more time to think in the latter part of the game, so maybe it's not too bad. But Luca's going to have to speed things up. I think he's also going to take a hard look at his time management. In this game, he spent a lot of time off camera, sort of walking around, so I'm not sure if that was to maintain the calm and not freak out too much over certain positions. I mean, I often take a walk if I'm too nervous, so yeah. Okay, so what do you think, chat? We might see knight f4. There's also g4, but that's just completely losing. Apparently queen f4 is the only move here, and the others are just like completely lost. Queen f4 needs to be played. Otherwise, knight g4 is coming, and it's just like the winter. We're gonna need a night's watch. Knight f4 is on the board. Then we're gonna have c takes d4, e takes d4 maybe. This is tough. I think it's gonna happen like this. And queen f5 check, king f1, h6 to lock things down, but you have to see h6 is the problem. Though it's not too difficult to see because your knight's hanging if h6 by white, and you can't play g6 because the knight's hanging. Still difficult. Only 9 minutes left for Eduardo. Bishop and knight mate. I saw that in Discord. Well done. Well done. Honestly find it still so difficult because you can learn it and then you can forget it and then you have to restart the entire learning process again. Just tough. Knight f4. I think we're gonna have to shake things up for Sunday because we're not used to commentating on really long classical games, and I have a feeling that Joel's gonna play just as long a game, which is not a bad thing. We want him to succeed, but maybe we can have some like side events going on at the same time. Like we'll definitely be paying attention to the game, but also be looking at other things as well. We can take a look at the results of the other streamers in the meantime though. How'd you go back? Events. The Women's Beach Chess Championship. I haven't been watching the rest of it. I should watch it. Okay, streamers. No games to show. Sag. Alright, let's check. Any moves we're missing? Yes, rook e8 was played. But what about rook g1 now? Oh, but then knight f4. So maybe rook d1 does make a lot of sense. Okay, Katarina won her game. GG. I don't know if Julia is a streamer as well. Joao won his game. Oh, nice. Nice win. Hannah won her game. I wonder if chess results will help us a little bit more. The results are not in yet. Okay. And what about the masters section? And Maia won. King e2 was played in this position. 1 minute 15 seconds left on the clock. 4-hour streamer. Okay, what was better here? Okay, King e2. Rook d1. Okay, rook d1, like I said, makes a lot of sense because after takes you maybe want to take back with the rook and not open the center at all. The other way we could go is by playing d5. I liked d5 a lot, but maybe the point is that the knight's going from g4 to e5 to f3, and that's really, really tough. I really wanted to make this move work. I'm sure we could also play h6, but then just g5, never mind. Yeah, rook g1, knight g4 anyway. Yeah, king e2. Not easy. Not easy at all. Knight g4 is an idea, making the white knight immovable. Yeah, well, yeah. Paralyzing the knight a bit. Oh, he took on d4. And now not so easy to take back. Because if taking back, there's just probably even e3. I think e3 is an idea. Like everything wins here. What else is there? Queen a5. Okay, I don't like queen a5. I think e3 is fine. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you too. What's the increment? 30-second increment. 30 minutes after 40 moves. Darren moved 26 right now. Yeah, it's bullet time. Ju and June won for the second time in a row. Beat Ho You Fun. Nice. Did that happen now? Because I saw some streamers live. Some chess study on the side. It's over now. Oh. Yeah. It would be nice to have some chess study actually, Maripant. Do you have any ideas? If you're free on Sunday, I would feel honored to have you join me. We can do commentary and chess studying. I think it's like 5 p.m. or something. GMT +2. Not to put you on the spot, of course. Rook g1 is a nice try, exactly what I would have done as well, but knight g4 is just next. Probably. You saw a post about it. That's where I get my chess information too. He's gonna take. He took on e3! Oh my gosh, he took on e3! Now there's a g4 move coming. There's g4 on the board. Not really. Not yet. There could be g4 on the board. What is going on in this position? I think this is just frantic nonsense. g4 could not be played because this knight would be hanging. You have to capture back with the f-pawn on e3. Oh dear. Oh dear me. How you doing, Mirapant? Yeah, because I went to the live page and I saw that there was a chess.com stream. Maybe I saw wrong. Samuel Toniolo. I know him. He lost against Jose Francisco. Some of the DGTs didn't work too well. Oh, maybe some people just didn't show up. Four minutes left for Eduardo Ferreira. He's gonna have to be like Speedy Gonzalez as his posture shifts. He should play as fast as his eyes can shimmer. Oh, it's funny. And he played, but what did he play? He played queen to g4 check, trying to exchange queens, forcing the exchange as well. He quickly took, trying to save some time on the clock, because that's the quickest way to gain time, is to exchange. We can probably just pop the knight on d5 though. Why is the engine not suggesting it? This is the real question. These are the droids. Yeah, knight d5 was played. Trying to decide and understand why it's not recommended. But knight d5 is fine. Rook e5. I think it's still very tough. I mean, they're approaching move 30 now. This is move 29. Eduardo will be making the 29th move. Or rather his 29th move, going after this pawn. Maybe rook e5 is an idea. Probably going to be played. And then rook h1 is a natural response. Or knight back to f4, I guess. But what happens rook e5, rook h1? Rook c8. And probably going this way. Not easy to hold on. This is not a lot of time. Yes. Fazi plays chess. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Sorry I missed it. Yeah. Sorry I missed it. Hi. RB Chicken Man. Reckless Reki. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Borek. Are you an I am? I'm a woman international master. Yes, I am. Yeah. No raid alert. Sorry about that. I apologize. I'm saying it out loud though. I'll be the new Russell. A big shout out to Fazi. Thanks so much for the raid. That's okay, Smart Sky. It's just warming us up for what's to come this week. Or next week, rather. Is there added time? After 40 moves, yes. Hope the commentary's been going well. It's been an adjustment. Yeah, usually commentating on fast-paced chess. Though the Almaty Open was classical, there wasn't any extra time. Not that they've reached move 40 yet. So really, I have no reason to complain. At some point, Jesse will look at chat. Here I am, looking at chat. Thank you. Appreciate the raid. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. And thank you, Reckless Reki, for the follow as well. Thank you. If you haven't followed the channel already, consider giving a follow. I'm a brand new streamer, only started in 2020. I have a feeling they might not need the extra time. Oh, yeah, maybe. Rook c8 was played, rook e5 is on the board. I mean, exactly what we spoke about. So, not too far. And rook to h4, nice move. I like it. I'd probably just f5 after this. Oh, rook takes d5. That is the biggest ouchie of the century. Because rook takes d5, rook takes, and then just here we'll win the pawn. Not even, because this pawn is hanging. So, what? Okay, can't take any challenges right now. Sorry. 30 years young. Are you older than me? No, you're not. You're like 2. You're like 19. I don't even know how old you are. Very young streamer. Yeah, I feel very young sometimes when my knees work. I mean, I kind of played tag with Coda in the garden today when he got the zoomies, and then I'm pretty sure I sprained my ankle after 2 minutes of running. That was humbling. A very humbling experience indeed. Yeah, this rook is gonna have to come back, unfortunately. I spend time with my Doge. That's why he waits for me outside my streaming room. Yeah, oh dear. Oh. Why don't I like it? Oh, this is just quick math. Slow math. Medium math. Mathity math. Maybe coming here. I'd go with it if I were you. Fellow insomniac. It's not that late. Late is like 4 a.m. B5 is a power move. You should run using all 4 limbs to reduce the chances of injury. Should I put shoes on my hands as well? Dirk here with the 30 months. Oi, oi. Thank you so much for the 30 months. Oh, Dirk here. Coffee, coffee. I had a lot of coffee today. So rook takes d5, c takes d5, rook takes c1, king takes c1, knight takes c3. It's not check. It's not check. Are you ready for tomorrow? Who do we have here? Long time no see, camel. What? Hi, Fur9 Physic. How are you? Why are you calling me a camel? Okay, and the game has ended. Unfortunately, not in Luca's favor today, but it's only the first round, and you know what they say. Once you get over the first round, there are still 8 rounds to go. And just like a cat, these lives need to be taken into serious account. And you always land on your feet if you're a peanut butter sandwich. Congratulations to Eduardo for winning the game. And really nice fight that Luca put up. I think he's going to be taking a hard look at this game in preparation for tomorrow. So this was probably the latest time that the games will start. The next rounds will all be either morning rounds or early afternoon rounds, 4 p.m. local time, 5 p.m. GMT plus 2. Not sure if Luca flagged. Peanut butter sandwich while wearing Vans. No. We're going to bring the stream to a close, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And appreciate you being here and supporting chat and everything. I think, was that a hype train? There's a hype train. Interesting hype train. There is a hype train. Not sure what that hype train was all about, but okay. Did I miss something? No, I didn't miss anything. Yeah. The bro flag. There's a very high chance of that. A camel. Always land on your feet if you are a peanut butter sandwich. Should be a quote, to be honest. Chat really trying to keep Jesse awake with the hype train. Is commentary with glasses better? It was mainly to read chat properly and going between looking at the chessboard and chat. Sorry, no more glasses. Let's try to raid the hype train. Okay, we are going to be sending off a raid from my end. Not too sure about the other streams that are going on, but I do thank you so much for being here. We're still live on Luca's channel. We're going to give a raid to Chess Dojo, just because one of the dojo members are in fact playing in the Maia tournament, and that is Kostya. Okay guys, I'm gonna love and leave you. I'll be back on Sunday with more comms. Maybe tomorrow on my channel if I have some time and energy. Who knows? Okay, you guys, have a great one. Bye-bye. We'll try to checkmate my insomnia now. Good luck with the league tomorrow, those of you who are playing. Yeah. Nice to see you all. Bye-bye. Tomorrow's Sunday? Ah, come on. You know what I mean. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Bye. You can hear Code outside doing some things. I'll go get him.